We are starting off with the Tennessee Titans. Their needs look like this: offensive line, wide receiver, linebacker. They've got the 26th pick in the first round, then pick at 90, and then 131, and so on and so forth. Aaron, we'll start off with you, buddy. Who do the Tennessee Titans need to draft?
Yeah, lately I've been hearing a lot as a dark horse that the Tennessee Titans might be looking at quarterback in the first round. And again, don't get me wrong. We talk about Ryan Tannehill ad nauseum. We know we're not huge fans of his, but I don't know that that's the move for a team that just won the AFC, that thinks they're on the cusp of being a contender. And you got Derrick Henry, who's aging. I don't know that the quarterback is the way to go. I think that you are trying to win now. And in order to win now, there's some more important needs. And I think that starts with the offensive line. And I'm going with pick 26 in round 1, Trevor Penning. Talking about a guy who Trevor Penning is just a big offensive. Whoa, that's loud. Offensive lineman. He's light on his feet. He's fluid. He can really move well in space. He's the prototypical offensive lineman. He has some negatives there, but in the first round, I think you're talking late. He's probably going to be the 4th, 5th offensive lineman off the board. He started at left tackle, but I do think you can move him inside, and it's just a matter of what Tennessee needs, right? They are a run-first football team, relies heavily on the play action. This is a guy that can fit in nicely there. He started 3 years. I think this is a guy that Tennessee goes after, beefs up that offensive line after losing some pieces, and continues to build around Derrick Henry and that play action game in Tennessee. I know they need a weapon on the outside, but we mentioned this is a deep wide receiver draft class. I think they can get one later that might have an impact. So I went offensive line in the first round for the Tennessee Titans.
See, I love where you started off. I didn't like the way you finished, and I'll tell you why in just a second. But I love the way you started off by bringing up the quarterback, because I was looking through and I was like, I like to scour through like the Twitterverse and see what Titans fans are saying that they want, and see how it matches up with what I say they want. And I did see some people out there talking about whether or not the Titans should draft a quarterback at some point in this draft, and maybe later on, sure. But I don't think you invest anywhere higher than a 4th round pick on a quarterback in this draft, because like you said, this team is right there, or supposedly right there. And to compete in the AFC, you have to continue building. You have to continue making yourself more dangerous. And if you, I don't want to say waste a pick on a quarterback, but if you use a pick on a quarterback, you are saying, okay, we're focused on the future rather than trying to compete in this very, very difficult AFC. You said to pick an offensive lineman, and I'm okay with that, but they need to compete. They need to compete. And what did everyone else do in the AFC? They went out and got weapons, and that's what the Tennessee Titans need to do with their first pick in the first round. They need to go out and get this man right here, Jahan Dotson. We've been talking about him so much as of late when we're with our wide receiver ranking show on Friday. If you missed that, it's up on YouTube right now. Jahan Dotson is easily a top 5 receiver in this draft. The more I scout him, the more I look at him, he is climbing to arguably the 3rd, 2nd best wide receiver to me. He was one of the best wide receivers, one of the best offensive players that Penn State has seen in the past 4 or 5 years. And even if you look back at this, if you look back at Penn State, all the way dating back to 2014, the wide receivers and the offensive players that they've had Chris Godwin, great NFL player, Pat Freiermuth, the Muth is loose kind of guy. They had A-Rob, Saquon Barkley, lots of offensive talented players coming out of Penn State. Jahan Dotson was the highest rated PFF guy, offensive player from Penn State since 2014. So with all the talented players that Penn State has had, it's special what Jahan Dotson has done at Penn State. And he's going to be a special player in the NFL. I was trying to find something more than what we've talked about with Jahan Dotson, because we love him on this show. Yeah. And you want to know why we love him on this show? Because ball is life.
Number one job as a wide receiver, as I am, is to catch the football. And I take tremendous pride in that. Many of my peers know this, but I carry a football everywhere with me. Whether I'm going to the hotel, at the airport, I carry it everywhere with me. That kind of started at a very young age. I was never big into toys. It was always either football, basketball, or something like that. So just carrying the football, I got a feel for it. I got a good feel for it. And just glad that I can make a lot of plays.
Very nice. Very nice. Football is live. I don't know if you guys know about Ted
go ahead.
Lasso.
Yes. The only thing that I keep hearing people say they need to go out and get a wide receiver. And I'm not saying they don't. But we do have to remember they addressed that position in the offseason. They brought in Robert Woods. They have AJ Brown. They, as much as I know that people are going to laugh at this, but Nick Westbrook-Ikhine came on last year, and that's their third. They signed Austin Hooper, who's a tight end. So they went and got weapons. I think you can ask the Bengals this. If you cannot protect your quarterback, it doesn't matter who you have on the outside. They went far, but at the end of the day, you need people to protect Ryan Tannehill, especially in that play action game. And it does no good if they can't run the football, which with Derrick Henry, then it takes away what Ryan Tannehill actually can succeed at. I like the wide receiver pick. I just don't think I would use a first rounder for it. I think I could find a guy later who's not going to be your number one, because I do believe Jahan Dotson can be a number one somewhere. I don't think he's going to come in there and overtake AJ Brown as a number one guy. And he might get pushed down on that depth chart and take some time to develop just because of the fact that they do have two veterans there.
You know what I like about Jahan Dotson here, and especially for the Tennessee Titans, is I think he could fill in that slot role, and you could see him take over like I'm obviously not going to compare him to a Cooper Kupp, but Jahan Dotson could play in the slot and give you that next level weaponry that you need, especially in an AFC where you are going to have to score points, and you cannot just rely on Derrick Henry. And obviously Robert Woods is going to be helpful, but even if you slide in Jahan Dotson in the slot, he is going to be game changing for a Tennessee Titans offense.
Jahan Dotson is going to be game changing. I got you. I'll hold you down.
No, I just wanted to say one thing, and you can go. I do believe Tennessee ran more two wide receiver sets than anybody in the NFL last year. I worry about that.
Okay, it's fair.
Did they keep their OC?
That I don't know. I do believe he's still there.
I feel like I don't remember hearing a change or anything. Even if like Jahan Dotson is going to come in and be a slot guy just about anywhere he goes until maybe year 3 or so in the league, maybe year 2. Who knows how fast he's going to develop when it comes to NFL ranks. But you mentioned him playing in the slot, and I feel like Robert Woods might take that role over. And I agree with Aaron on the basis that I don't think you should spend a first-round pick on a wide receiver if you're Tennessee, because they do need to get that line a little bit better. But I do also agree that they should be attacking a wide receiver. I like Nick Westbrook. I don't know if he is a solid all-season number 3. He may be a good guy to bring in certain packages and use them there. So I went with the wide receiver, and I went down to the 3rd round, pick 90, and I'm going to go with Romeo Doubs out of Nevada. So it took me a minute to really feel how I felt about this guy. And after watching him for a bit, I like what he can do. I mean, he's a big guy, 6'2", 200 pounds, but he's strong and he's physical. He's that type of receiver that likes the contact. He likes catching through contact. He's not like a top speed guy, but he's got great acceleration. So if you let him by you in those first 5 yards, you're not catching him, and he will beat you over the top. He's got excellent footwork near the sidelines. He knows how to get those third and must-have catches. And as you've seen on this clip, deep ball, deep ball, deep ball. He's found a way to go and get it. Bolitnikov candidate 2 years in a row, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. This guy had 19 catches, 203 yards against, Fresno State. But I said 19 catches. Like, that's a feat. I don't care who it's against. With Robert Woods being there, when he gets healthy, to be that speedster guy, to be that gadget guy, I think having a guy like Romeo Doubs to eventually become that solid number 2, and if he was to pack on another 20, 25 pounds, as far as size goes, you have some problems on the outside with an A.J. Brown in a 6'2", 225 Romeo Doubs who invites contacts in a one-on-one. So I like this pick about 3 rounds in. And, if he doesn't work out, that's something you package later on in a deal if you must. But maybe Romeo can get them some dubs.
Big dubs. Big dubs needed. Big dubs needed for Tennessee. I like that pick too, and I do like that strategy of getting your wide receiver in the middle rounds. And I think Aaron, you have gone back on that statement that you said a couple weeks ago where there is that drop off. Sure, there is a drop off between like the top 5, 10 guys, but I still think if you're Tennessee, you can definitely get a solid wide receiver in round 3. Either way, if you're the Tennessee Titans, you need to be getting these impact players that can come in and help you compete in a vicious AFC.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure Aaron was good. I didn't know if Aaron had some slap back or anything like that. So
no, I like the Romeo Dubs pick. In round 3-4, that's about where he'd be going. Who knows where he'll go in my mock draft? As I haven't got there. I'm only through the first 2 rounds, so we'll see.
We're only 1 week away from Aaron's 7-round mock draft.
Sunday will be the first division release, and then go from there.
It's gonna be madness.
If the Tennessee Titans are looking for a quarterback later in those rounds, I don't know how far Carson Strong drops, but
that's my dude.
He might be a solid backup, man.
That's my dude. I was torn between. I'm not saying Carson Strong is like a phenomenal pick. He's definitely got some problems. He's not very mobile. But he's got a great arm. I think you can develop him later on. But again, I went back and forth on the Carson Strong Tennessee one. I was like, do I do it? And I'm like, no. Tennessee needs to step up here, and they need to not focus on the quarterback. And
can I give a teaser? If I may. I do have the Tennessee Titans taking a quarterback in this draft, and I don't know if we mentioned him here, but I do have one going to Tennessee this draft.
Ooh, all right. Sneak preview. Let you guys have to tune into our social media next week for Aaron's 7-round mock draft. It's going to be special.